I think a lot of people these days have heard about BuzzFeed. Fewer have heard about the business behind it and this sort of new ad model of sponsoring stories. How does it work?
Well, John, we don't run any display advertising. We don't run any banners. The world has really moved past that at this point. All the brands that work with us do content, stories about their product, what the brand stands for, aspirations of the brands, and it really moves minds. It's so much more effective for everyone from GE to Kraft to Pepsi. And I mean, we've worked with a huge range of the Fortune 1000 at this point.
We had Jonah Peretti, the founder and CEO of BuzzFeed, on the program recently, and he talked about how there aren't enough people out there who understand how the different platforms work. So Facebook is different from Twitter, which is different from Pinterest.
Yep.
What about how these campaigns factor into all those different platforms? Do they have to be tailored to each place?
They really don't, John. The common theme is that across the social web, which is basically the web now, we get about 70% of our traffic from social sources. Most people go to Facebook and Twitter to get their news. Banner and display ads don't work. They probably never worked anywhere, but they certainly don't work there. What works on these social networks is content, and what we do is we create a launching point for this content for brands both on BuzzFeed and allow people to spread it across the social web, whether it's a Facebook-sponsored story or a promoted tweet. What's the common thread in all these platforms is that it's a native, content-driven ad that people love to engage with and share.
So how big an ad market do you think this ultimately will be sponsored stories?
From the time that you and I started talking about this, John, 6 months back, it's gone from being something that people were experimenting in, that we were pioneering, that we were kind of like trying to bring people along to, what has really now become so mainstream that, to your point, there's rumors that the New York Times is even moving into it. I think it will eat the entire branded display banner market. That doesn't mean there won't be ad networks. That doesn't mean there won't be remnant, but no premium site is going to sell banners to brands. Brands do not want them. This will take the entire direct brand advertising market on the web, I think.
Now, there's been a lot of talk recently about a video partnership that you guys now have with CNN. What about video ads? I mean, do sponsored stories, is it the same concept that you hope to bring to video or that you're already bringing to video?
I think what's comparable with video to content-driven advertising is that video is, in and of itself, content. And on our partnership with YouTube, when we monetize our channels, we use the TrueView format, where a person has to actually choose to watch the content. So that's very much kind of an opt-in, content-driven experience. So I do think that that's part of that content-driven advertising future.
Just before we go, when you're hiring, I mean, you guys are a growing company, are you bringing in people from the traditional media companies who are part of those traditional ad teams? Or is their thinking different that you need to find, totally different people?
We look across the spectrum, whether it's on the business side or the creative side. We look for people who love social, love digital, and we have a training program. We have training programs for our sales and business team. We have a whole academy and basically fellowship program that we train both our creative staffers and our business staffers in as well. So it's very much kind of bottoms-up type thing.